Hey amazing students! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on helpful tips to improve your English. Today, we're going to talk about something really important: the importance of listening in English learning. You might be wondering, why is listening so important? Well, stick around because we are going to explain how listening can make your English learning journey easier and faster. Let's get started. Listening is very important when learning a new language, like English. When we start learning any language, we begin by listening first. Think about babies. They don't speak when they are born, but they listen to the sounds and words around them. As they hear words over and over, they start to understand and then speak those words themselves. For you, when learning English, listening helps you learn the sounds of the language. It helps you know how words are said and how they are used in sentences. The more you listen, the better you understand English when people speak to you. Listening also helps you learn new words and how they are used. It helps you learn the correct way to say words and how to understand others when they speak. When you listen a lot, your brain gets better at remembering and understanding words. You will be able to speak more easily because you will know how to say things the right way. Listening helps you understand English better, and it is one of the most important parts of learning the language. The more you listen, the more your English will improve. Improving your pronunciation is another great reason why listening is important when learning English. When you listen to native speakers, you can hear how words are pronounced correctly. This is very helpful because English has many sounds that might not be in your own language. By listening carefully, you can learn the right way to say words. For example, when you listen to people speaking English, you hear how they stress certain words or parts of words. This is called word stress. Some words have stronger sounds and others are softer. By hearing these patterns, you can copy how native speakers say words and phrases. This will make your pronunciation sound more natural. Listening also helps you understand how to link words together when speaking. In English, people often say words quickly, and some sounds blend together. When you listen to English in movies, songs, or podcasts, you start to notice how words flow together smoothly. If you practice listening and repeating what you hear, your pronunciation will improve and you will sound more like a native speaker. So, by listening regularly to English speakers, you will get better at pronouncing words correctly. It will also help you speak more clearly and confidently. The more you listen, the better your pronunciation will become. Listening is a great way to build your vocabulary and learn new words and phrases in English. When you listen to native speakers, you hear words that you might not find in your textbook. This is because native speakers use many words and expressions that are common in everyday conversations. By listening to these conversations, you can learn how to use these words in the right way. When you listen to English, you will also come across idiomatic expressions. These are phrases that don't always make sense when you translate them word by word. For example, when someone says it's raining cats and dogs, they don't mean real cats and dogs are falling from the sky. It means it's raining very heavily. These kinds of phrases are important because they're used often in everyday English. Listening helps you hear these idioms so you can use them in your own speech. As you listen more, you'll also start to notice how different words are used in different situations. For example, some words may be used at work, while others are used with friends. Listening to conversations helps you learn when and how to use these words and expressions. By listening to a variety of content, such as TV shows, songs, and podcasts, you will hear a wide range of vocabulary and idiomatic expressions. This helps you build your word bank and use English in a more natural and fluent way. The more you listen, the more words and expressions you will learn, and the better you will be at speaking and understanding English. Listening is a key way to improve your comprehension skills in English. Comprehension means understanding what people are saying. The more you listen to English, the better you get at understanding it. At first, it might feel hard to understand every word, but with practice, your brain becomes better at catching important details and understanding the overall meaning. When you listen to English, you learn to recognize different words and phrases. Over time, you get used to the speed at which people speak, and you can understand them more easily. Listening also helps you understand how sentences are put together. For example, when you hear people speak, you learn where to pause and which words are important to listen to. You can improve your comprehension by listening to different types of content, such as movies, podcasts, news, or conversations. Each of these will expose you to different accents, tones, and ways of speaking. As you listen more, you will start understanding the language better, even if you don't know every single word. This is because you will learn to pick up on the meaning through context, the situation, or the words around the ones you don't understand. Listening helps you train your brain to understand English more quickly. The more you listen, the easier it will be to understand people when they speak, whether it's in a classroom, at work, or in daily life. So, make listening a regular part of your learning routine to improve your comprehension skills. Listening and speaking are closely connected, and improving one helps improve the other. When you listen to English, you get to hear how words are said, how sentences flow, and how people express themselves naturally. This makes it easier for you to speak because you already know how things should sound. When you listen carefully, you start to understand the rhythm and tone of the language, which is very important for speaking fluently. For example, when you hear how native speakers pronounce words, it becomes easier for you to copy their pronunciation. You learn how to use the right stress and intonation when speaking. This helps you sound more natural when you talk. If you don't listen enough, it can be hard to know how to say words correctly or how to make your sentences sound smooth and clear. Listening also helps you learn how to respond quickly in conversations. The more you listen to English, the more you will understand what people are saying without needing to think too much. This helps you speak more easily and confidently because you'll be able to react quickly and give the right answers. When you listen to different people, like in movies, interviews, or conversations, you hear a variety of ways of speaking. This helps you become comfortable with different accents and speaking styles. The more you listen, the better your speaking skills will become. So, to speak fluently, it's important to listen regularly. Listening is a key part of becoming a confident and fluent speaker. Listening to different types of content is a great way to improve your English skills. There are many ways to hear English, and each type of content can help you learn in different ways. By listening to a variety of content, you can get used to hearing different vocabulary, accents, and speaking styles. This will help you become more flexible and confident in understanding English. For example, if you listen to movies and TV shows, you get to hear how people speak in real-life situations. This helps you learn everyday language, including slang and expressions that you might not find in textbooks. Movies and TV shows also give you the chance to hear different accents and dialects, as many characters come from different regions. Podcasts are another great source of listening practice. They often cover a wide range of topics, so you can choose subjects that interest you. Listening to podcasts helps you learn how people speak in professional, casual, or even academic settings. You also get to hear how different speakers express ideas and opinions, which is great for improving your listening skills. Songs are a fun way to learn English too. When you listen to music, you can learn new vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, and different ways of saying things. Songs often use simple and repetitive phrases, which can help you remember new words. Plus, they teach you about rhythm and tone, which are important for speaking. Finally, listening to news or interviews helps you understand formal English. It also keeps you updated on current events and teaches you how to express opinions or discuss important topics in English. By listening to all these types of content, you expose yourself to many different ways of speaking and using English. The more variety you get, the better your listening skills will become, and the more comfortable you will feel understanding and speaking English in any situation. Listening to different accents and dialects is very important when learning English. English is spoken all around the world, and people from different countries or regions speak it in different ways. Each place has its own accent and dialect, which means they may pronounce words differently or use different expressions. By listening to these different accents, you can improve your understanding of English and be able to communicate better with people from various places. For example, English spoken in the United States might sound different from English spoken in the UK, Australia, or Canada. The same words can be pronounced in different ways. Listening to these accents helps you get used to hearing English in different forms, so you can understand it no matter where it's spoken. It also helps you avoid misunderstandings, as you'll be more familiar with how words can change depending on where someone is from. In addition to accents, there are also dialects. A dialect is a variation of English that includes different words or phrases. For example, in the UK, people might say lorry instead of truck, or in the US, people might say apartment instead of flat. By listening to different dialects, you learn these variations and become more flexible in understanding English in any situation. So, when you listen to English, try to expose yourself to different accents and dialects. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, or have conversations with people from different countries. The more you listen to a variety of English speakers, the better you'll be at understanding English in all its forms, and the more confident you will be in speaking with people from all over the world. When learning English, it's important to understand the difference between active and passive listening. Both are useful, but they help you in different ways. Let's look at each one. Active listening means really focusing on what you hear. When you listen actively, you pay attention to every word, sound, and sentence. You try to understand the meaning. Think about what the speaker is saying, and maybe even take notes. Active listening helps you learn more, because you are fully involved in the process. For example, when you listen to a podcast, you might pause it sometimes to think about what was said or repeat a phrase to practice your pronunciation. Active listening is like studying the language carefully to understand it deeply. Passive listening, on the other hand, happens when you hear something without trying too hard to understand every detail. It's like letting the language flow in the background while you're doing something else. For example, you might listen to music in English while doing homework or hear a TV show playing while you relax. Passive listening is still useful because it helps you get used to the sounds and rhythm of the language. Even if you don't fully focus, you are still training your brain to recognize English words and sentences. To improve your English, it's good to use both active and passive listening. Active listening helps you learn new things and improve your skills, while passive listening helps you get used to hearing English naturally. You can combine them by listening carefully at times when you can focus, and letting English play in the background when you can't. Both types of listening will help you become better at understanding and speaking English. Listening is not only important for speaking and understanding English, but it also helps improve your writing skills. When you listen to native speakers, you get a sense of how sentences are structured and how words are used in different situations. This helps you understand how to organize your thoughts and ideas clearly when you write. For example, when you listen to podcasts, news reports, or conversations, you hear how sentences are formed and how ideas flow from one to the next. This can help you when you're writing because you will know how to connect your sentences and make your writing sound more natural. By hearing how native speakers express themselves, you learn how to choose the right words and phrases to make your writing clearer and more engaging. Listening also helps you improve your vocabulary. When you hear new words and phrases in context, you remember them better and can use them in your own writing. You will also learn how to use different expressions or idioms, which will make your writing sound more interesting and varied. Additionally, listening to different types of content, like movies, songs, or interviews, exposes you to different styles of writing. This helps you learn how to write for different purposes, whether it's casual, professional, or academic. For example, listening to a business interview might help you learn how to write formally, while listening to a casual conversation might help you with informal writing. So, by listening carefully and often, you not only improve your understanding and speaking skills, but also develop better writing skills. The more you listen, the more you will understand how to write effectively in English. Listening in English can sometimes be challenging, especially when you're just starting to learn the language. There are many factors that make listening difficult, but don't worry. With some practice and tips, you can overcome these challenges and improve your listening skills. One of the biggest challenges is understanding the speed at which native speakers talk. Native speakers often speak quickly, and sometimes it can be hard to catch every word. A good way to overcome this challenge is to practice listening to slow and clear audio first. Many language learning apps and websites have recordings that are slower and easier to understand. Once you get comfortable with those, you can gradually listen to faster speakers. Another challenge is unfamiliar vocabulary. When you listen, you might hear words that you don't know. Instead of getting frustrated, try to guess the meaning of the word from the context. Listen carefully to the sentences around the unfamiliar word, and you may be able to figure out what it means. You can also write down the new words and look them up later. Over time, you'll learn more vocabulary and feel more confident. Accents can also be a challenge. English is spoken with many different accents, and some can be harder to understand than others. The best way to overcome this challenge is to expose yourself to a variety of accents. Listen to English speakers from different countries, such as the US, UK, Australia, and Canada. This will help you get used to hearing different accents and improve your ability to understand English no matter where it's spoken. Sometimes, background noise or distractions can make it hard to focus on listening. Try to listen in a quiet place where you can concentrate. If you're listening to something like a podcast or an audiobook, you can always pause it and replay parts that you didn't understand. With time, your brain will become better at focusing on the important sounds and words. By practicing regularly and using these strategies, you can overcome listening challenges and improve your skills. Remember, the more you listen, the easier it will become, and soon you'll find that listening in English feels more natural and enjoyable. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful and that they will support you on your journey to learning English. Remember, listening is one of the most important skills, and with practice, you will see great improvement. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with anyone who could benefit. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We have more helpful tips and lessons coming your way to help you speak English more confidently and fluently. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next video.